People often say how things were better back in the day, and why not? We didn't have giant corporations trying to ruin every good thing for profit, World War III wasn't looming in the horizon, and shonen was actually good. But what if I told you you can get that back? Not the corporations and world ending in nuclear fire bit, that's still very much happening, but at least the shonen part I can help you with. Well, not me personally, I'm just an idiot with a microphone, but I can tell you that Dandadan is like that old school shonen, or at least has the feel of it. My introduction to really good shonen came fairly late in life, in the form of the big three, which I watched only a few years ago and found something magical in that. Something that to a degree ruined what the genre had become for me. I used to like My Hero and Demon Slayer, sitting on the edge of my seat for the hype battles and animation eye candy, and then I watched One Piece, Bleach, and to a lesser degree even Naruto, and suddenly I saw just how much the genre had lost over the years. Shonen had become just battle shonen with very little else of consequence in between. It was all about the struggle of good versus evil, everything's black and white, and that random crap in between is just meaningless flavor text to fill the empty air. And then in comes Dandadan, and it feels like I'm watching early Bleach or One Piece all over again, and I love it. So much so that I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting every week to watch that new episode. So much so that I wish it wasn't seasonal but continuous release like those shonen giants of old. Hell, so much so that I even read the goddamn manga. Not all of it obviously, but a good bunch. So why? Why this show? What makes Dandadan special? Well, it all started with a nerdy kid being bullied. Welcome back to high school, I guess. But unlike with most of us, bam, in comes Ayase Momo to save the day. A gyaru who knows exactly what she wants it, when she wants it, and this is starting to sound an awful lot like a school rom-com oh they're fighting. The two of them have absolutely nothing in common, but through shared indignation, a dare is born. Ken loves UFOs and other extraterrestrial cryptids, but laughs at the notion of ghosts. Momo, on the other hand, believes in the wandering departed souls and thinks the galaxy is a cold, dead wasteland of dust and solar wind. Also, they removed Obama for some reason, not that that's important, but still. Both of them want to prove a point, so off goes Ken to the most haunted spot conveniently nearby, while Momo explores a building frequented by aliens. It's creepy, damp, and judging by the smell, something died over there a while ago, but other than that, there's nothing out of the ordinary, except, of course... that and the aliens with their probes who kidnap Momo for probing purposes. Ken gets possessed by a ghost called Turbo Granny, yes, really, and through the shared phone call with Momo... Wait, the nerdy kid got her phone number just like that? Slick Ken, very slick. Anyway, now a half-spectral being, Ken infiltrates the probe alien ship by transporting himself through Momo's phone. A fight between the supernatural and paranormal ensue, and Momo has to save the day when the alien's mind probing, not that kind of probing, unleashes her latent psychic abilities. All of this culminates in them realizing how Ken's PP got stolen by Turbo Granny, and now the two of them need to go get it back. Partly because it was Momo's fault that Ken met the ghost in the first place, and partly because only she can stop the spirit from taking over his body and cursing everyone nearby to death. A giant sumo alien that can only be defeated if you beat this towering monstrosity according to the rules of the sport, a murder crab chasing the two of them into a hot spring bath where they boil it, and ride a train that can be caught by grandma running at a constant 100 kilometers an hour. Make sense? Good, me neither. In Dandadan, random shit just happens. But it's not random for the sake of being random. Not really. Every single fight is unique, so much so that they could be from completely different franchises. It's creatures of folklore and urban legend being aliens and how they interact with the ghosts of tormented spirits, and to defeat them the characters need each other. Borrowed powers of local gods mixed with psychic abilities, curses and good old-fashioned ass-whooping, turbocharged with spiritual possession. And that's just the fighty bits. In between, the characters do people stuff. They are relatable and childish and do dumb shit. Not for the sake of funny gags, but because that's how people are. That's what they do. These aren't tropes masquerading as fully fleshed out characters. They share pain and happiness like real, living, breathing human beings. There is growth and emotional maturity in these people. They show they can change and better themselves and that their past does not define them, and it's that camaraderie and just humanity that makes Dandadan so special. It changes how we perceive a character in a show. I won't spoil anything, but chances are you will hate most of the cast that are about to get introduced. But give them a chance. Remember what I said about emotional maturity and believe in them. At least a little. And the same goes for the bad guys. Not so much the aliens, but the ghosts. They may be evil beings causing the world's hottest grandma to bleed from her ears and nose as she's being cursed to death, but then you get to look deeper and find real pain and suffering. Would you want to destroy a spirit who for decades has gone around the country comforting the ghosts of murdered young girls, who shared in their grief and offered what little solace she could to those who lost everything in life in the most horrific way imaginable? Well, given how hot Granny Seiko is, yeah, maybe. The point being, every character from the baddies to the goodies, we are ignoring the aliens again because they just kinda do their own thing being all weird and, well, alien-y, they all feel more than just characters in a story, and there's that feeling of friendship and family that makes those silly bits in between the action feel far more significant than just the random jokes they've become in more modern iterations of shonen. The feeling of seeing the table fill up with people who've experienced things I recognize from my own life feels far more special than having yet another chosen one shonen protagonist who only seems to fight villains suddenly brush his teeth in the morning. Dandadan doesn't try to humanize its cast by going, hey, look at this, they are real people too, they eat food and things. Instead, it shows Ken and Momo, and again later others, but shh, spoilers, struggle with life. They lash out when confronted and regret their actions after the fact. And their reactions to all the wacky shit that happens is exactly what I'd do. There's no 7-hour-long explanation about the nature of the universe and everything, it's more, what the fuck's going on, why is there a giant crab trying to eat us? And then Momo remembering her grandmother explaining that spirits turn to crabs in order to cross the river Styx. Does the explanation make sense? Probably not, but that's not the point. It makes sense to them and to this universe. At the risk of sounding disgustingly pretentious, Mark Twain once said, "It's no wonder that truth is stranger than fiction. Fiction has to make sense." Giant crab monsters, ghosts with mummy issues, and later what would happen if Mozart had a baby with a bobblehead, followed by a pistol shrimp. It's all nonsensical, but it makes sense in this world and to these people. And then the ding-dong stealing aliens are looking for a part-time job that pays well, and it all falls back to what the fuck. That part is something Dandadan absolutely nails. None of it sounds even vaguely reasonable out of context, but it all knits together into a cohesive whole, even the really out there bits all fit in. And the characters are the same, different parts that shouldn't work, but as you watch or read and see this table slowly fill up with oddballs that shouldn't fit together and yet do, it gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling inside and the world is good again. Okay, let's talk production. Color psychology is a field of study focused on uncovering the emotional reactions brought on or emphasized by certain colors in conjunction to the message given by other means. What's happening, what's being said, etc. The stronger the color and contrast, the stronger the reaction. Reds are for passion and love, but also danger and destruction. Greyish tones for uncertainty and anticipation, and blue oft associates with feelings of relief and peacefulness. And if you didn't notice, I just described most of the color palette of episode 4 of Dandadan and how it's used to emphasize each scene's emotional response. Now combine that with emotion, crisp animation and amazing sound design and you get what just might be one of the best overall executions of pure production quality we've seen in a shonen for a long while. Then again, when you've managed to snag Tanaka Mayumi, the legendary voice of Monkey D. Luffy, as one of your voice actors, there better be some serious trust in the product. And there really is in Dandadan, and it also delivers on that trust. And speaking of some of the best things seen, or well, heard in a long time, the English dub for Dandadan is pretty damn solid for once. The voices sound natural, sure it's a bit forced with things like Gen Z language being what annoys Turbo Granny instead of English, especially since it's not even particularly recent or egregious slang. Is the Japanese original still better? Yes. But the difference isn't huge, and is only really noticeable during the in-between scenes, where some of the emotion tends to be more muted in the English. Momo shouting about Takakura Ken especially comes across far more genuine in the Japanese, but it's still easily in the top 10 of recent dubs. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, especially big thanks to my channel members RC Rally, Mr. Shadow, and Rage. Like and subscribe, blah blah blah, you heard it 1,000 times, you know what to do. I've been Cheese, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.